episode of Blue Check Bullshit, where we take a critical look at the Twitter-verified personalities who regularly set off the bullshit detectors. Today, we're looking at Morning Joe. Now, whenever you take on MSNBC, you have to recalibrate. Otherwise, the damn thing be going off left and right.
Now, we've heard, Zeke Emanuel, that nobody could have seen this coming. The fact is, everybody saw this coming. Everybody saw this coming in early January.
So let's take a look at some facts here. This is the World Health Organization. They're saying that it can't be spread human to human. Well, we later find out that this isn't true. The Chinese Communist Party was lying. They knew around December 25th. Here's Dr. Fauci. I think most people have a lot of respect for the doctor.
We don't have to worry about this one, right?
Well, obviously you need to take it seriously and do the kinds of things that the CDC and the Department of Homeland Security are doing. But this is not a major threat for the people in the United States, and this is not something that the citizens of the United States right now should be worried about.
This is the CBS affiliate in Oregon. The West Coast had some early cases of the coronavirus. This is Science Alert. It's a leading magazine that offers peer-reviewed content.
The lack of sophistication I've seen on CNN and others, we're going to get up on the site, the not understanding of even how to do the math on death rates. They're taking death rates like current things versus that. To have that by the CNN producers and CNN, MSNBC, you got to step your game up, okay? This is a crisis. Some of the lack and immaturity of the analysis that's put up on the screen is just dead wrong. The math is just wrong.
What Bannon is talking about here is that the networks were focused on the mortality rate of the virus. As hopefully everybody knows now, the mortality rate is only half of the calculation. You need to know the R0 value, and that measures how easily the coronavirus spreads. There are still varying estimates, but around 3, one person will infect 56,000 people in 10 days. Don't believe me? Multiply 3 times 3, 10 times. At this point in time, the Trump administration had taken several steps to start to combat the coronavirus. Now, it started to become serious.
On China and travelers coming into airports, it's easy to forget an even greater public health threat to Americans is already here, the flu.
We're now in early February. Remember, Joe said we saw this coming in early January. HCP Live is a leading physicians magazine. This is more than 1 month after the World Health Organization announced that the virus could be spread person to person.
The speaker is urging people to come out again and not be afraid.
Also to say to everyone, you should come to Chinatown. Precautions have been taken by our city. We know that there's a concern about tourism traveling all throughout the world, but we think it's very safe to be in Chinatown and hope that others will come.
So here's the first mention of the coronavirus on Morning Joe.
Your thoughts, Dr. Dave, on this, explain the severe concern about this outbreak and how worried should Americans be? Should they panic?
Good morning, Mika. No, Americans do not need to panic. What I would suggest, however, is that Americans take this as a wake-up call for seasonal flu.
You have to note that MSNBC still does not recognize the seriousness of the situation. This is a leading TV station in Chicago.
If you had to, would you close down the borders?
No. I mean, what you don't want to do right now, we have a president who has propagated xenophobic anti-immigrant sentiment from before he was elected. What we need to do is have the scientists take a hard look at what we need to do.
You would be hard-pressed to find any scientist who would say that the travel bans were not a good thing.
If you're under 50 and you're healthy, which is most New Yorkers, there's very little threat here. This disease, even if you were to get it, basically acts like a common cold or flu. And transmission is not that easy.
We want people still to go on about their lives,
There's a lot of criticism of the Trump administration right now. Some of it's fair. Most of it is 20/20 hindsight, or outright rewrites of history, like we see on Morning Joe. The point of this video is not to criticize the news organizations and analysts that we saw. For the most part, I believe that they were acting on the best information they had at that time. There are some notable exceptions. Clearly, Joe Biden and Bernie Sanders were seeking political advantage. The WHO seems to repeat the Chinese Communist Party line. The disturbing thing is the 100% grade A bullshit coming from Morning Joe. He won't face any consequences from MSNBC. We, the people, need to hold them accountable.